symbol of bravery, wisdom, and the boundless possibilities of the universe. And every night, as Lyra gazed up at the stars, she knew that her journey had only just begun, with the starry compass guiding her through the mysteries of the cosmos. And so, in the kingdom of Etheria, the stars shone a little brighter, and the dreams of adventure and discovery lived on, carried by the heart of a young girl who dared to reach for the stars. In the light of the starry compass, the kingdom learned that the true adventure lies in following one's dreams with courage, wisdom, and a heart full of wonder. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Arinder, there was a lush and mystical forest known as the Whispering Woods. This forest was famed for its talking animals, magical plants, and the ancient wisdom it held. The heart of the Whispering Woods was said to house a powerful enchantment that could fulfill any wish, but only if the wish was made with a pure heart. In the quaint village of Eldenbrook, on the edge of the Whispering Woods, lived a brave and kind-hearted girl named Lily. Lily lived with her grandfather, who had fallen ill with a mysterious sickness. Despite the village healer's best efforts, no remedy seemed to help. Lily, determined to save her beloved grandfather, decided to seek out the heart of the Whispering Woods and make a wish for his recovery. One morning, Lily set off into the forest armed with a satchel of provisions, a map drawn from old stories, and her grandfather's locket as a reminder of why she was on this quest. As she entered the Whispering Woods, the trees seemed to whisper softly, guiding her deeper into the forest. Her first challenge came in the form of a majestic, talking stag that appeared in her path. The stag's antlers gleamed like silver, and its eyes held a deep, knowing look. To pass, the stag said in a gentle voice, "You must prove your bravery. Face the enchanted pool and retrieve a single star from its depths." Following the stag's directions, Lily arrived at the enchanted pool. The pool was surrounded by luminous flowers, and its waters shimmered with a soft, ethereal glow. At the center of the pool was a single, twinkling star resting on a bed of floating lilies. Lily knew she had to dive in to reach it. Despite her fear of the unknown, she took a deep breath and plunged into the water. The water was cool and refreshing, and Lily swam towards the star. As she reached for it, a gentle, soothing voice spoke, "Only those with a heart full of courage can retrieve me." Lily grasped the star and, with a burst of determination, swam back to the surface. The stag waited patiently at the edge of the pool. Upon receiving the star, it nodded in approval and stepped aside, revealing a hidden path deeper into the forest. Lily continued along the path until she reached a grove filled with enchanting, glowing mushrooms. In the center of the grove stood a talking fox with a bushy tail and eyes that sparkled like gems. To continue, the fox said, "You must solve the riddle of the grove." The fox recited the riddle, "I have cities but no houses, I have mountains but no trees, I have water but no fish. What am I?" Lily thought hard about the riddle. She remembered maps she had seen, which showed cities, mountains, and rivers. "A map," she answered confidently. The fox's eyes lit up with delight. "You have answered correctly. Follow the path to the next challenge." Lily thanked the fox and followed the path, which led her to a glade bathed in soft moonlight. In the center of the glade was a grand, ancient tree with a face carved into its trunk. Its eyes were wise and kind. To earn the final blessing, the tree said, "You must show your selflessness. Tend to the forest creatures in need, and only then will you find the way to the heart of the Whispering Woods." Around the tree, Lily saw various forest creatures, birds with injured wings, a family of rabbits caught in a net, and a small fawn that had lost its way. Lily spent hours helping the creatures. She carefully bandaged the bird's wings, freed the rabbits from the net, and guided the fawn back to its family. Her heart was full of compassion as she tended to each creature with care. Once she had finished, the ancient tree's face softened, and a hidden doorway appeared at its base. Lily stepped through the doorway into a serene, glowing clearing at the heart of the Whispering Woods. In the center of the clearing was a beautiful, crystal-clear spring surrounded by radiant flowers. At the edge of the spring, a shimmering figure appeared, a fairy with delicate wings and a warm, welcoming smile. "You have shown bravery, wisdom, and selflessness," the fairy said. You are worthy of the heart's wish. Lily approached the spring and made her heartfelt wish for her grandfather's recovery. The water of the spring began to swirl and glow brightly. The fairy sprinkled a few drops of the enchanted water into a vial and handed it to Lily. Give this to your grandfather, and he will be healed. With the vial safely in her satchel, Lily made her way back to Eldon Brook. When she arrived, she found her grandfather still in bed. She gently gave him the enchanted water, and within moments, he began to stir. His color returned, and he sat up, looking healthier and happier than he had in months. The village celebrated the return of Lily and the miraculous healing of her grandfather. The story of Lily's bravery and kindness became a beloved tale in Eldon Brook, and the Whispering Woods continued to be a place of magic and wonder. Lily's adventure taught the villagers that courage, wisdom, and a selfless heart could overcome even the most daunting challenges. And so, the Whispering Woods remained a beacon of hope, reminding everyone that true magic lies in the purity of one's intentions. Once upon a time, in a land where the sun set in colors of gold and the moon rose in hues of silver, there was a beautiful kingdom nestled beside a serene lagoon. This lagoon was known as the Moonlit Lagoon, famed for its shimmering waters that sparkled like stars under the moonlight. In this kingdom lived a kind and curious young girl named Lila. Lila loved to explore the natural wonders around her home, and she often visited the lagoon to marvel at its beauty. One night, while sitting by the water's edge, Lila noticed something unusual. A star had fallen into the lagoon, and its light was dimming. Concerned, Lila waded into the lagoon to retrieve the star. As she reached for it, a gentle voice spoke from the water. If you wish to save the star, you must embark on a journey to restore its light. The star's magic is needed to keep the moon shining brightly. Determined to help, Lila agreed to the quest. The voice guided her to an ancient map that revealed the locations of 3 magical objects needed to restore the star's light. The objects were hidden in 3 distant places: the Crystal Cavern, the Enchanted Forest, and the Tower of Echoes. With the map in hand, Lila set off on her adventure. Her first destination was the Crystal Cavern, a mystical cave known for its dazzling crystals. As she entered the cavern, the crystals illuminated the dark, revealing a labyrinth of shimmering paths. At the heart of the cavern was a magnificent crystal pedestal with a glowing orb. However, the orb was guarded by a wise old dragon named Bramble. The dragon spoke in a deep, rumbling voice. To claim the orb, you must answer a riddle. Only then will you prove yourself worthy. Lila listened carefully as Bramble posed the riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? Lila thought for a moment, recalling the many things she had seen and heard in her travels. An echo, she answered confidently. Bramble's eyes twinkled with approval, and he allowed Lila to take the glowing orb. You have shown wisdom. The orb will guide you on your journey. With the orb safely in her possession, Lila continued her quest, traveling to the Enchanted Forest. The forest was a magical place where the trees whispered secrets and the air was filled with sparkling fireflies. At the center of the forest was a grand tree with golden leaves and a hidden grove beneath its roots. In the grove, Lila found a golden acorn guarded by a playful fairy named Pippa. Pippa fluttered around Lila, saying, to gain the acorn, you must perform a task of kindness. Only then will you prove your heart is true. Lila looked around and saw that the grove was in disarray, with fallen leaves and tangled vines. She began to clean and organize the area, arranging the leaves and untangling the vines. As she worked, Pippa watched with a smile. Once the grove was neat and beautiful, Pippa clapped her tiny hands. You have shown kindness and care. The golden acorn is yours to take. Lila thanked Pippa and continued her journey to the final destination. The Tower of Echoes. The tower was a tall, ancient structure that resonated with mysterious sounds. Inside, Lila found a staircase leading to the top, where a mystical harp was placed on a pedestal. A graceful, ethereal figure appeared, an elegant spirit named Lyra. Lyra spoke softly, to obtain the harp, you must play a melody from your heart. Only then will you prove your inner harmony. Lila approached the harp and began to play. She poured all her emotions into the melody, creating a tune filled with hope, joy, and compassion. The harp strings glowed with a radiant light, and Lyra's eyes shone with approval. "You have played beautifully," Lyra said. "The harp is yours, and it will help restore the star's light." With all three magical objects, the glowing orb, the golden acorn, and the harp, Lila returned to the moonlit lagoon. As she approached, the star's light was faint and flickering. Lila placed the orb, the acorn, and the harp near the star. The objects began to glow and pulse with magic. The star's light grew brighter, and soon it was shining as brightly as it had before. The moon above the lagoon also seemed to shine with renewed brilliance. The voice from the lagoon spoke again, "Thank you, brave Lila. You have restored the star's light and ensured the moon's glow will continue to guide the night. Your courage, wisdom, kindness, and harmony have saved the moonlight." Lila felt a warm sense of accomplishment and joy. The lagoon's waters sparkled more beautifully than ever, and the kingdom celebrated Lila's bravery and success. The moonlit nights became even more magical, and the legend of Lila's quest was told for generations. And so, Lila lived happily in her beautiful kingdom, always remembering the adventure that had taught her the true magic of courage, wisdom, kindness, and harmony. The end. Once upon a time, in the enchanting land of Eldoria, there was a secluded village named Briarwood. This village was known for its lush landscapes and a magical tree at its center, known as the Whispering Willow. The willow was said to be ancient and wise, with the ability to whisper secrets of the past and future to those who listened closely. The Whispering Willow was the heart of Briarwood, and its branches seemed to dance with a gentle breeze. The villagers held the tree in great reverence, believing it was a guardian of their village's well-being. But over the years, the willow's whispers had grown faint, and the villagers began to worry that its magic was fading. Among the villagers was a young girl named Elowen. Elowen was known for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. She had always been fascinated by the Whispering Willow and had spent many hours under its branches, hoping to hear its secrets. Determined to restore the willow's magic, Elowen decided to embark on a quest to uncover the cause of its silence. One misty morning, with a small satchel of provisions and her favorite book of stories, Elowen set off towards the Whispering Willow. The tree's once vibrant leaves were now tinged with a melancholic gray, and the gentle whispers she had cherished in her youth had become barely audible. As Elowen approached the tree, she noticed a figure emerging from the shadows, a mysterious old woman with silver hair and a cloak that shimmered like moonlight. The old woman was known in legends as the Forest Enchantress, a keeper of ancient magic. "Welcome, Elowen," the enchantress said with a voice that seemed to echo from the very essence of the forest. "I have been waiting for someone with a pure heart to seek the truth about the Whispering Willow." Elowen, though taken aback, gathered her courage. "I wish to help the willow. It seems to have lost its magic. What can I do?" The forest enchantress nodded and handed Elowen a small, ornate key. "This key opens the Gate of Echoes, a hidden chamber beneath the willow. Inside, you will find what you need to restore its magic. But beware, for the chamber is guarded by 3 trials, each testing your courage, wisdom, and heart." With the key in hand, Elowen made her way to the base of the Whispering Willow. She discovered a hidden entrance covered in vines and moss. Taking a deep breath, she unlocked the gate and descended into the chamber below. The first trial was the Trial of Shadows. The chamber was dark and filled with shifting shadows that seemed to come alive. To pass, Elowen had to navigate through the darkness, guided only by her inner light. Remembering the warmth of her village and her love for the willow, she pressed forward, using her courage to dispel the shadows that tried to confuse and frighten her. The second trial was the Trial of Reflection. Elowen found herself in front of a large, mirror-like pool that showed not only her reflection but also scenes from her past and possible futures. The images were mesmerizing but also disorienting. To succeed, Elowen had to see beyond the reflections and focus on the essence of her true self. She closed her eyes and remembered the stories she had read, the lessons she had learned, and the values she held dear. With clarity, she stepped past the pool, understanding that her true purpose was to act with compassion and integrity. The final trial was the trial of the heart's desire. At the center of the chamber was a pedestal with a single, glowing orb. The orb represented Eloan's deepest wish, and to complete the trial, she had to make a choice. She could take the orb for herself or use its power to help others. Eloan knew that her heart's desire was not for personal gain but for the well-being of her village and the Whispering Willow. With unwavering resolve, Eloan placed her hands on the orb and wished for the restoration of the willow's magic, hoping that her village would prosper from its wisdom and guidance. The orb's light enveloped her, and she felt a surge of warmth and energy. The chamber began to shimmer and transform. Eloan emerged back into the daylight, finding that the Whispering Willow had regained its vibrant green color. Its branches swayed gracefully, and its whispers returned, carrying words of wisdom and encouragement to the villagers. The forest enchantress appeared once more. "You have succeeded in your quest, Eloan. The Whispering Willow's magic has been restored because you chose to act with a pure heart. The willow will continue to guide and protect your village." Eloan returned to Briarwood, where she was celebrated as a hero. The village thrived under the renewed magic of the Whispering Willow, and its whispers guided the villagers in their daily lives. And so, in the land of Eldoria, where magic and nature intertwined, Eloan's bravery and selflessness became a cherished tale, and the Whispering Willow's wisdom continued to inspire and nurture the village for generations to come. In a secluded corner of a lush, enchanted forest, there lay a serene, glistening lake known as Whispering Lake. The villagers of nearby Evergreen often spoke of the lake with a sense of awe and mystery. They believed that the lake had a magical secret and that its waters whispered ancient tales to those who listened closely. In Evergreen lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Eloan. She had always been fascinated by the stories of Whispering Lake and dreamed of uncovering its hidden secrets. Her grandmother, who had shared many tales about the lake's magic, often told her that only someone with a pure heart and a brave spirit could uncover the lake's true mystery. One summer's evening, as the full moon bathed the forest in silvery light, Eloan decided to visit Whispering Lake. The path to the lake was winding and overgrown, but she walked with determination, guided by the soft, glowing light of fireflies. When she arrived at the lake, Eloan was mesmerized. The water sparkled like a field of stars, and a gentle, melodic whisper seemed to drift across the surface. She sat at the water's edge, listening intently, and soon noticed a shimmering figure rising from the lake. It was a beautiful water nymph named Seraphina. "Greetings, brave Eloan," Seraphina said with a voice like a gentle breeze. "I am Seraphina, guardian of Whispering Lake. You have come seeking the lake secret, have you not?" Eloan nodded. "Yes, I have always wanted to know the truth behind the whispers." Seraphina's eyes twinkled with kindness. "To reveal the lake's secret, you must complete 3 tasks. Each task will test your courage, wisdom, and kindness." With a determined heart, Eloan accepted the challenge. Task 1, the Enchanted Puzzle. Seraphina led Eloan to a grove where a large, intricate puzzle was carved into the ground. The puzzle was a series of interlocking stones with ancient symbols. To solve it, Eloan had to place the stones in the correct order. As she examined the puzzle, Eloan realized that the symbols represented different virtues: courage, wisdom, kindness, and love. She arranged the stones with care, placing the symbol of kindness at the center. As the last stone clicked into place, the grove lit up with a warm, golden light, and the whispering became clearer. Task 2, the Lost Songbird. Next, Seraphina guided Eloan to a dense thicket where a small, injured songbird lay. The bird had a broken wing and was unable to fly. Eloan carefully tended to the bird, using her shawl to make a soft bed and soothing the bird with gentle words. As she nursed the bird back to health, a magical, calming aura surrounded her, and the lake's whispers grew stronger and more melodious. Once the bird was ready to fly again, it chirped a sweet, thankful melody before soaring into the sky. Task 3, the Heart of the Forest. The final task took Eloan deep into the heart of the forest, where she found a towering, ancient tree with a hollow trunk. Inside the hollow was a golden acorn, but it was guarded by a fierce, yet misunderstood, shadow creature. Iloan approached the creature with compassion rather than fear. She spoke softly to it, learning that the shadow creature was lonely and misunderstood. With empathy, she offered it some of the crumbs from her bread and shared her warmth. The creature's heart softened, and it allowed her to take the golden acorn. With all 3 tasks completed, Seraphina reappeared, smiling warmly. "You have shown great courage, wisdom, and kindness. The secret of Whispering Lake is now yours to discover." Seraphina took the golden acorn from Iloan and placed it gently into the lake. The water shimmered and swirled, and from its depths emerged a magnificent, radiant pearl. The pearl was the source of the lake's whispers, holding the wisdom and stories of the forest and its inhabitants. The true secret, Seraphina explained, is that the lake's whispers are the collective wisdom and love of the forest, shared with those who seek to understand it with an open heart. Iloan felt a profound sense of connection with the forest and its magic. She thanked Seraphina and promised to honor the lake's secret by sharing its stories and helping others with the wisdom she had gained. As Iloan walked back to Evergreen, she carried with her the gentle whispers of the lake and the lessons of courage, kindness, and understanding. The villagers marveled at the new light in her eyes and the warmth in her heart. And so, the legend of Whispering Lake grew, not just as a place of magic, but as a reminder that true secrets are found in the acts of bravery, wisdom, and kindness. Iloan's story became a cherished tale in Evergreen, inspiring all who heard it to listen to the whispers of their own hearts. Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled between vast forests and rolling hills, there lived a girl named Mira. Mira wasn't like the other children in the village, who were content playing games or helping their parents with daily chores. She spent her nights gazing at the stars, always fascinated by the way they twinkled like little lanterns in the endless sky. But what truly captivated Mira wasn't just the stars, it was the legend her grandmother used to tell her. According to the legend, somewhere high above the clouds, there existed a hidden kingdom known as the Realm of the Night. In this mysterious realm, the stars were living beings, and among them was a bird made of pure silver, whose feathers controlled the night. They said that whoever found one of the silver bird's feathers would be granted a single wish, and that wish could change their life forever. One summer night, as Mira lay on a hill, watching the stars like she always did, she noticed something unusual. A streak of silver flashed across the sky, not like a shooting star, but something brighter, something closer. It shimmered and fell slowly toward the forest at the edge of the village. Mira's heart raced. "It must be the silver feather," she whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. Without hesitation, she jumped to her feet and ran toward the forest, determined to find it. She had always dreamt of this moment, the chance to make a wish and see the world beyond her small village. The forest was dark, but Mira was brave. She followed the soft glow that guided her deeper into the trees, her excitement pushing aside any fear. Soon, she reached a clearing, and there, lying on the ground, was a feather, shimmering with a silvery light so soft it looked like it was made of moonlight itself. As Mira bent down to pick it up, a voice echoed through the trees. "Be careful, child. The feather holds great power, but wishes are not given lightly." Startled, Mira looked around and saw a figure stepping out of the shadows. It was an old woman, dressed in a cloak of stars, her eyes twinkling with ancient knowledge. Mira had heard whispers of this woman, the Star Keeper, a guardian of the realm of the night. The old woman smiled kindly. "You found the silver feather, but before you make your wish, you must understand, a wish from the feather comes with a choice. It is not as simple as it seems." Mira, filled with curiosity, asked, "What choice must I make?" The Star Keeper's voice was gentle but firm. "You can wish for anything your heart desires, for wealth, for adventure, or for knowledge beyond measure. But there is another choice. You can return the feather to the silver bird and bring peace to the stars. If you choose this path, the night sky will become brighter, and all the dreams and hopes of the world will be carried on the wings of the stars." Mira's mind swirled with possibilities. She had always wanted to travel, to see the world beyond the hills, to meet new people and explore new places. With the feather, she could make that wish come true. But the thought of brightening the night sky for everyone, of helping others' dreams soar, tugged at her heart. She looked at the Star Keeper and asked, "What would happen if I returned the feather?" The old woman's eyes sparkled with pride. "If you return the feather, the stars will shine brighter than ever before. You will help guide the lost and the dreamers, and your own heart will be filled with the light of 1,000 stars. You may not travel the world, but you will always be a part of something far greater." Mira held the feather in her hands, feeling its cool, gentle light. She closed her eyes and thought of all the nights she had spent watching the stars, dreaming of a world beyond her own. But then, she thought of the people in her village, her friends, her family, and all the children who, like her, gazed up at the stars with wonder. They deserved to see the sky glow with hope, to believe in their dreams. Taking a deep breath, she opened her eyes and smiled. "I want to return the feather. I want the stars to shine brighter for everyone." The Star Keeper's smile deepened, and she nodded. "A wise choice, my child." With a wave of her hand, the Star Keeper summoned a soft breeze that lifted the silver feather from Mira's hand. It floated gently upward, shimmering brighter and brighter as it ascended into the sky. Mira watched in awe as the feather merged with the stars, and suddenly, the entire night sky seemed to come alive with light. The stars glowed with a brilliance she had never seen before, casting a gentle, golden light over the forest and the village beyond. The Star Keeper placed a hand on Mira's shoulder. "You have given the world a great gift. And though you did not make a wish for yourself, the stars will always remember you." As the old woman spoke, a single star fell from the sky and hovered above Mira's head. It glowed softly before settling into her hands, warm and comforting. "This is your star," the Star Keeper said. "Whenever you feel lost or uncertain, its light will guide you." Mira clutched the star to her chest, her heart full of gratitude. "Thank you," she whispered. The Star Keeper nodded and began to fade into the night, her form dissolving into the stars themselves. "Remember, child, you are never alone. The stars will always be with you." Mira watched as the Star Keeper disappeared, leaving her alone in the clearing. But she didn't feel alone. The sky above was brighter than ever, and her own star glowed softly in her hands. She returned to the village, her heart light and her spirit full of joy, knowing she had made the right choice. From that night on, the stars shone brighter in the kingdom, and people from far and wide came to see the magical sky. Mira grew up, her dreams forever tied to the stars, and whenever she felt the need for guidance, she would look up at the night sky and see her star twinkling back at her, reminding her of the night she gave the world a little more light. And so, Mira's story became a legend of its own, a tale of selflessness. Of choosing the light of others over oneself, and of the eternal bond between a girl and the stars. Once upon a time, in a land where emerald forests met sapphire lakes, there was a mystical place known as the Whispering Forest. This forest was rumored to be enchanted, with trees that whispered secrets and a hidden crown that granted wishes. Many had ventured into the forest seeking its magic, but none had ever returned with the crown. In a small, peaceful village at the edge of the forest lived a brave young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her kindness and courage, and she had a special bond with the forest animals. Her greatest wish was to find the lost crown of the Whispering Forest, not for herself, but to help her ailing father, who had been bedridden for months. One crisp autumn morning, Elara decided that it was time to venture into the Whispering Forest. She gathered supplies, including a lantern, some food, and a trusty map she had drawn based on old village tales. With a determined heart and a hopeful spirit, she set off towards the forest. As she entered the Whispering Forest, Elara felt a shiver of excitement. The trees were tall and ancient, their leaves shimmering with an otherworldly glow. The air was filled with the soft rustling of leaves and the occasional whisper, as if the forest itself was alive and speaking in hushed tones. Elara followed a narrow, winding path that seemed to lead deeper into the heart of the forest. The lantern's light flickered as if guiding her way. After a while, She reached a clearing where a magnificent old oak tree stood, its branches reaching towards the sky. Beneath the tree, a stone pedestal held an ornate book bound in shimmering green leaves. Curious, Elara approached the pedestal and opened the book. The pages were filled with ancient writing and illustrations of mystical creatures. As she read, she discovered that the book contained clues to finding the lost crown. According to the book, the crown was hidden in a secret glade protected by 3 trials. Determined to complete the trials, Elara continued her journey. The first trial was the trial of courage. She arrived at a dark, foreboding cave, where the entrance was guarded by a fierce-looking dragon with emerald scales. The dragon's eyes glowed with a fiery light, and it roared as Elara approached. Elara took a deep breath and stepped forward. She knew that the dragon was not truly evil, but a guardian of the forest's magic. She spoke calmly and respectfully to the dragon, explaining her quest and her desire to help her father. The dragon, moved by her bravery and sincerity, allowed her to pass and gave her a golden feather as a token of approval. Elara thanked the dragon and continued on her way, the feather glowing softly in her hand. The second trial was the trial of wisdom. Elara arrived at a serene pond with crystal-clear water. On the opposite side of the pond stood a wise old turtle with a glowing shell. The turtle presented Elara with a riddle: "I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter, but you cannot go outside. What am I?" Elara pondered the riddle, thinking deeply about the nature of the clues she had encountered. After a moment, she realized the answer. "A keyboard," she said confidently. The wise turtle nodded and allowed Elara to cross the pond on a magical lily pad. As she crossed, the lily pad shimmered and left a trail of sparkling water. On the other side, she found a path that led to the final trial. The third trial was the trial of compassion. Elara reached a glade filled with injured and weary animals. The animals were in distress, and their suffering was evident. To pass this trial, Elara needed to help them by tending to their wounds and soothing their fears. Elara used her knowledge of herbs and her gentle touch to care for the animals. She made poultices from leaves and berries, and she spoke softly to comfort them. As she worked, the animals began to recover, and their gratitude was palpable. The glade started to glow with a soft, golden light, and Elara knew she had succeeded in this trial as well. With all 3 trials complete, Elara followed a hidden path revealed by the golden light. It led her to a hidden glade where the lost crown rested upon a bed of soft moss. The crown was adorned with sparkling jewels and seemed to radiate a gentle, warm light. Elara carefully took the crown and felt a surge of hope and joy. She knew that this magical item could help her father, and she thanked the forest for guiding her. As she made her way back through the whispering forest, the trees whispered words of encouragement and gratitude for her kindness. When Elara returned to her village, she placed the crown beside her father's bedside. The crown's magic began to work, and her father's health improved rapidly. The villagers were amazed and grateful, and they celebrated Elara's bravery and compassion. Elara's father soon recovered, and the village prospered with renewed hope and happiness. The Whispering Forest continued to thrive, and its magic remained a cherished part of the land. From that day on, Elara was known not only for her courage but for her kindness and selflessness. She often visited the Whispering Forest, which became a place of peace and inspiration for her and her village. And as for the lost crown, it was a symbol of the power of love and the magic that can be found in the heart of those who are willing to help others. And so, Elara lived happily ever after, always cherishing the lessons learned from her journey through the Whispering Forest. The end. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Luminera, there was a beautiful meadow known as the Moonlit Meadow. Every night, under the light of the full moon, the meadow sparkled with thousands of glowing flowers and magical creatures that danced in the moonlight. The heart of the meadow was a grand oak tree that was said to be enchanted, its branches reaching up to touch the stars. The meadow was watched over by a kind and gentle moon fairy named Celine. She had a special duty, to ensure that the stars remained bright and the moonlight always guided travelers safely. Celine lived in a cozy cottage nestled in the branches of the grand oak, where she kept her starry lanterns and magical scrolls. One night, while Celine was tending to her lanterns, a great and unusual darkness fell over the moonlit meadow. The stars began to dim, and the magical flowers lost their glow. Alarmed, Celine flew to the grand oak and found that one of the stars had gone missing from the sky. The missing star, named Loomis, was known to be the brightest and most cheerful of all the stars. Without Loomis, the night sky was incomplete, and the balance of magic in Luminera was disrupted. Celine knew she had to find Loomis and restore the light to the meadow. Determined to solve the mystery, Celine called upon her animal friends, Bramble the wise old owl, Pippin the playful squirrel, and Luna the gentle deer. Together, they set out on a quest to find Loomis and bring back the light. Their first clue came from Bramble, who suggested they visit the enchanted forest, where many magical creatures lived. The forest was thick with mist and filled with the sounds of hidden beings. As they walked, they encountered a group of mischievous sprites who were known for their tricks and riddles. "Have you seen Loomis?" Celine asked the sprites. The sprites giggled and whispered, "To find the star, you must solve our riddle. Only then will you discover where Loomis has gone." The sprites recited the riddle, "In the place where shadows play, and moonlight turns to day, look for the glimmer, faint and true, it will guide the way to you." Celine and her friends pondered the riddle and decided that the place where shadows play might be the hidden glade, a mysterious part of the forest known for its shifting shadows and magical reflections. Upon reaching the hidden glade, they found it illuminated by the soft glow of bioluminescent plants. They searched for clues, and Pippin discovered a small, shimmering feather caught in the underbrush. The feather was unlike any they had seen before, with a light that seemed to flicker like a star. Luna suggested they follow the feather's light. The feather led them to a hidden cave behind a waterfall. Inside the cave, they found a glowing pool with a reflection of the night sky. The pool's surface shimmered with the colors of the missing star. Celine realized that the pool was a magical portal, and Loomis might be trapped on the other side. With the help of her friends, she activated the portal by touching the water with the feather. The pool's surface rippled, and a passageway appeared, leading them to a celestial realm. In this realm, the stars were floating islands in the sky, connected by beams of light. Loomis was captured in a floating crystal cage, held prisoner by a shadowy figure, a rogue star who had become consumed by jealousy. The rogue star, named Noctis, wanted to steal Loomis's light to become the brightest star in the sky. Celine and her friends devised a plan. Bramble used his wisdom to find a way to unlock the crystal cage, while Pippin and Luna created a distraction by dancing in the light beams to draw Noctis's attention. Celine, with her fairy magic, managed to unlock the cage and free Loomis. Loomis thanked them warmly and used his light to weaken Noctis's power. The rogue star, realizing the harm he had caused, was transformed back into a normal star and took his place in the night sky, far away from the meadow. With Loomis free and the balance restored, the celestial realm was filled with dazzling light once more. Celine and her friends returned to the moonlit meadow, where the stars shone brightly, and the magical flowers regained their glow. Kingdom of Luminera was once again bathed in the beautiful light of the full moon and the stars. The moonlit meadow celebrated the return of Loomis with a grand festival, where Celine and her friends were honored for their bravery and kindness. From that night on, Loomis's light was a guiding beacon in the sky, ensuring that the night remained bright and magical. The moonlit meadow flourished, and Celine continued her watch over the stars, knowing that even the smallest act of courage and friendship could restore light to the darkest of places. And so, the tale of Celine and the lost star lived on, a reminder of the power of hope, teamwork, and the magic that shines within every heart. The end. Once upon a time, in a tranquil kingdom surrounded by lush forests and sparkling rivers, there was a magical realm known for its beautiful birds. Among them was the rare silver feather, a mythical bird said to possess extraordinary powers and grant one heartfelt wish to anyone who could find it. In a small village at the edge of the kingdom, there lived a young girl named Ilara. Ilara was kind and brave, always helping her neighbors with their troubles. Her family was poor, but they were rich in love and kindness. Ilara's greatest wish was to improve the lives of those around her and bring prosperity to her struggling village. One day, a severe winter hit the kingdom, bringing with it an unusually harsh frost. The crops failed, and the villagers were growing anxious. Remembering the legend of the silver feather, Ilara decided to set out on a quest to find the mythical bird and make a wish that could save her village. The quest begins early one morning. Ilara prepared for her journey. She packed a small bag with essentials, a warm cloak, some bread, and a flask of water. Her mother gave her a silver locket for good luck, a family heirloom that had been passed down through generations. With a hopeful heart, Ilara ventured into the forest, guided by the tales of the silver feather. As she walked deeper into the forest, Ilara came across a wise old tortoise named Thaddeus, who was known for his knowledge of the enchanted woods. Thaddeus was resting on a moss-covered rock, basking in the weak winter sunlight. "Good day, Thaddeus," Ilara greeted him respectfully. "I'm on a quest to find the silver feather. Can you help me?" Thaddeus looked at Ilara with wise, kind eyes. "The silver feather is a difficult treasure to find," he said. "It is said to dwell in the heart of the Whispering Glade. But first, you must overcome 3 trials that test the purity of your heart." The first trial, the frosted lake. Ilara followed Thaddeus's directions to a frozen lake surrounded by tall, snow-covered trees. The ice was thick and treacherous, and Ilara had to cross it to continue her quest. As she stepped onto the ice, it began to crack and groan. In the middle of the lake, she spotted a riddle carved into the ice. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Ilara thought carefully and then answered aloud, "Fire." With her answer, the ice beneath her feet stopped cracking, and a narrow path appeared, leading her safely to the other side. The first trial was complete. The second trial, the enchanted grove. Ilara soon arrived at a grove filled with glowing, magical flowers. The grove was beautiful but bewildering. The flowers seemed to hum and dance in the cold wind, creating a maze of shimmering petals. A sign in the center of the grove read, "To pass through, you must find the path of light. Follow the song that leads to the heart." Ilara listened closely to the harmonious melody of the flowers and followed the softest, most enchanting tune. As she walked, the flowers seemed to part, guiding her through the maze until she reached the center of the grove. There, a small, sparkling key lay on a pedestal. The third trial, the guardian of the Whispering Glade. Ilara continued her journey and finally reached the Whispering Glade, a serene, mystical place with tall trees that seemed to whisper secrets. In the center of the glade stood a majestic, ancient tree with a face carved into its trunk. The tree was the guardian of the glade. "Welcome, Ilara," the guardian spoke in a deep, gentle voice. "You have completed the trials, but now you must show that your wish is truly selfless." Ilara approached the guardian and spoke from her heart. "My wish is not for myself but for my village. I want to bring prosperity and warmth to those who are suffering from the harsh winter." The guardian listened intently and then nodded. "Your heart is pure, and your wish is selfless. The silver feather will grant your wish, but remember that true magic lies in the kindness you show others." The silver feather appears as the guardian spoke. A soft, shimmering light filled the glade. The silver feather appeared, its plumage sparkling like moonlight on fresh snow. The bird flew gracefully towards Ilara, and she reached out, carefully taking the feather in her hand. The moment she held the silver feather, a warm, golden light enveloped the entire Whispering Glade. Ilara felt a rush of joy and relief as the magic of the feather began to spread. Returned to the village, Ilara hurried back to her village with the silver feather. When she arrived, she found that the feather's magic had already started to work. The snow began to melt, the crops revived, and a sense of warmth and renewal spread through the village. The villagers were overjoyed and amazed at the transformation. They celebrated Ilara's bravery and kindness with a grand feast, and the once struggling village now thrived with abundance. Ilara's family was immensely proud of her, and the village honored her as a true hero. The silver feather, having fulfilled its purpose, disappeared back into the magical forest, leaving behind a lasting legacy of hope and generosity. A lasting legacy. Years passed, and the story of Elara and the silver feather became a cherished tale told to children around the village. Elara continued to help others, her actions always guided by the selflessness that had brought the silver feather to her. The kingdom flourished, and the forest remained a place of magic and wonder. Elara's legacy was a reminder that the greatest treasures are found in the kindness and love we give to others. And so, the village lived in prosperity and harmony, and the legend of the silver feather lived on as a beacon of hope for all who heard it. The end. In the heart of a lush, enchanted forest, there was a small village named Elder Tree, known for its towering trees and sparkling streams. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, drawing wisdom and magic from the ancient oak that stood at the center of their village. This oak was no ordinary tree. It was the guardian tree, a living connection to the spirit of the forest, and it had protected Elder Tree for centuries. Among the villagers was a young girl named Lyra. She was curious, brave, and had a special bond with the animals of the forest. Every morning, she would venture into the woods, accompanied by her loyal squirrel friend, Nutkin, and her pet fox, Ember. The creatures of the forest trusted her, and she could often be seen conversing with birds or helping a deer find its way. One evening, as the sun dipped low and the sky turned a fiery orange, Lyra noticed something strange. The guardian tree's leaves, usually vibrant and green, were beginning to wither and fall. The streams that flowed around it were drying up, and the animals were growing restless. Lyra's heart ached to see her beloved forest in distress. Lyra ran to the village elder, a wise woman named Marwen, who had lived for as long as anyone could remember. Marwen's eyes were filled with sadness as she gazed at the guardian tree. "The tree is dying, Lyra," Marwen said softly. "A dark force is spreading through the forest, draining the life from it. The guardian tree is our only protection, and if it dies, so will the forest." Lyra's resolve hardened. "I have to save it, Elder Marwen. Please tell me what I can do." Marwen looked at her with a mixture of hope and fear. "There is a way, but it is dangerous. You must find the heart of the forest, a magical gem hidden deep within the woods. The heart is the source of all life here, but it has been lost for many years. Only someone pure of heart and strong in spirit can retrieve it." Without hesitation, Lyra agreed. Marwen gave her a small pouch of herbs for protection and whispered a spell to guide her way. Lyra set off at dawn, with Nutkin perched on her shoulder and Ember padding silently beside her. The forest was dense and dark, with shadows that seemed to move on their own. But Lyra was not afraid. She followed the whispers of the trees and the songs of the birds, knowing they would lead her to the heart. After hours of walking, she reached a part of the forest she had never seen before. The air was thick with mist, and the ground was covered in strange, glowing mushrooms. In the distance, she saw a faint light flickering. She hurried toward it, her heart pounding. The light led her to a hidden grove, where a crystal-clear lake shimmered under the moonlight. In the center of the lake, on a small island, stood a pedestal with a glowing gem atop it, the heart of the forest. But as Lyra approached the water's edge, a dark figure rose from the shadows. It was a creature made of smoke and shadow, with eyes that burned like embers. "I have been waiting for you," the creature hissed. "The heart of the forest belongs to me now. If you wish to take it, you must face me." Lyra stood her ground, clutching the pouch of herbs. She knew she couldn't defeat the creature with strength alone. She had to rely on the magic of the forest and her connection to the guardian tree. With a deep breath, she threw the herbs into the air, chanting the spell Marwen had taught her. The herbs burst into a cloud of sparkling dust, surrounding the creature and binding it in place. The creature howled in rage, but it couldn't break free. Lyra didn't waste a moment. She dashed across the water, which seemed to support her weight as if by magic, and reached the pedestal. The heart of the forest was warm in her hands, pulsing with life. As she held the gem, the dark creature let out one final, ear-piercing scream before it dissolved into nothingness. The mist lifted, the trees sighed in relief, and the guardian tree, far away an elder tree, began to revive. Lyra returned to the village as a hero, the heart of the forest glowing brightly in her hands. She placed it at the base of the guardian tree, and immediately, the tree's leaves turned green again, the streams flowed with fresh water, and the animals sang in joy. The village celebrated for days, and Lyra was honored as the savior of Elder Tree. But Lyra didn't seek praise or glory. She was just happy to see her forest, her home, alive and thriving once more. And so, the legend of Lyra and the heart of the forest was passed down through generations, a story of bravery, friendship, and the magic that lives in the heart of nature. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there was a mysterious garden known only to a few. This garden, called the Time Turner's Garden, was hidden behind an ancient gate covered in ivy and guarded by a gentle, old tortoise named Theo. Theo had been there for as long as anyone could remember, and he was said to know the secrets of time itself. The village had many stories about the garden, but no one knew for sure what lay inside. It was said that anyone who entered would find something they had lost or learn a lesson that would change their life forever. The garden's entrance was rarely seen, and only those who truly needed it could find their way there. In this village lived a young woman named Clara, who was known for her kindness and curiosity. Clara had always been drawn to stories of adventure and magic. Despite her gentle nature, she was deeply troubled by one thing: she had lost her beloved grandmother's locket, a family heirloom passed down through generations. The locket was more than just jewelry, it was a symbol of her family's love and history. Clara had searched everywhere for it, but it had vanished without a trace. One cool autumn morning, Clara decided to seek out the Time Turner's Garden, hoping that perhaps it might help her find what she had lost. Armed with hope and determination, she followed a narrow, winding path that led her to a thick, ancient hedge covered in fragrant roses. As she pushed through the hedge, she found herself in front of the ivy-covered gate guarded by Theo. Theo looked up with wise, knowing eyes. "What brings you to the Time Turner's Garden, dear?" he asked in a slow, deliberate voice. "I've lost something very dear to me," Clara replied, her voice tinged with sadness. "It's a locket that belonged to my grandmother. I'm hoping this garden can help me find it." Theo's eyes softened with understanding. The garden holds many secrets, but it reveals them only to those with a true heart. If you seek your locket, you must first seek what lies within yourself. With a nod, Clara stepped through the gate, which creaked open to reveal a garden filled with vibrant, otherworldly flowers and shimmering pathways. The air was fragrant with the scent of blooming roses and the soft hum of enchanted bees. As Clara wandered through the garden, she noticed a small, shimmering pond at the center. By the pond was a stone bench with an inscription that read, "Find what you seek by following your heart's true path." Clara sat on the bench, reflecting on her grandmother's teachings and the memories she cherished. She closed her eyes and thought deeply about the locket, recalling every moment she had shared with her grandmother. The warmth of those memories filled her heart, and she felt a sense of peace. Suddenly, a soft, melodic voice spoke from behind her. "To find what you have lost, you must first find what you have gained." Clara turned to see a delicate fairy with iridescent wings standing before her. "What do you mean?" Clara asked. The fairy smiled kindly. "Sometimes, the things we seek are not lost but hidden within us. The locket symbolizes your connection to your grandmother and the love she gave you. To find it, you must remember what her love has taught you and how it has shaped who you are." With newfound clarity, Clara walked through the garden, letting her heart guide her. She passed through meadows of golden flowers, over bridges made of moonlight, and beneath archways of glowing vines. Each step seemed to bring her closer to understanding the true value of her grandmother's teachings. Eventually, Clara came to a secluded glade where a single, ancient tree stood. Its branches were adorned with twinkling lights that seemed to respond to her presence. Clara approached the tree and saw a small, glowing box nestled among its roots. The box was decorated with intricate patterns that matched the designs on her grandmother's locket. With trembling hands, Clara opened the box and found the locket inside, glowing with a soft, golden light. It was just as she remembered, and a rush of happiness filled her heart. As Clara held the locket, the fairy appeared once more. You have found what you sought because you understood its true meaning. The love and memories you have cherished are as precious as the locket itself. Clara thanked the fairy and made her way back to the gate, carrying the locket with her. As she stepped through the gate, it closed gently behind her, and Theo gave her a nod of approval. Returning to her village, Clara felt a renewed sense of connection to her grandmother and her family's legacy. She shared her experience with the villagers, telling them about the garden and the lessons she had learned. The Time Turner's Garden became a symbol of hope and self-discovery for many, and Clara's story inspired others to seek what lay hidden within themselves. And so, the Time Turner's Garden continued to thrive, a magical place where those with true hearts could find the wisdom they sought and uncover the hidden treasures within their own lives. Once upon a time, in a land where rolling hills met a sky painted with endless hues of pink and gold, there was a village called Solara. Solara was renowned for its magnificent gardens, but none was as magical as the Garden of Echoes, a hidden haven that was said to grant wisdom and insight to those who truly needed it. In this village lived a young boy named Theo, who was known for his kind heart and inquisitive nature. Theo's father was a skilled gardener, but lately, he had fallen ill, and no remedy seemed to help. Despite the village healer's best efforts, Theo's father's condition worsened with each passing day. Desperate to find a cure, Theo remembered the tales of the Garden of Echoes and decided to seek it out, hoping to find a way to save his father. One crisp autumn morning, Theo set off on his quest, armed with nothing but his father's old compass and a small satchel of provisions. The compass had been passed down through generations and was said to always point the way to what one's heart truly desired. Theo hoped it would guide him to the magical garden. Theo ventured through lush meadows, over sparkling streams, and into the heart of a dense forest. The compass's needle spun and whirred, but eventually, it began to point steadily towards a narrow, winding path hidden among the trees. Theo followed the path, which grew narrower and more winding with each step. As he walked, the forest seemed to come alive with whispers and rustles. Theo felt a sense of anticipation and hope, knowing he was getting closer to the Garden of Echoes. After a long and winding journey, he reached the edge of a clearing where an ancient, gnarled tree stood tall, its branches reaching out like welcoming arms. Beneath the tree, a shimmering pool of water reflected the sky. Beside the pool was a small stone pedestal with an inscription carved into it: "To find the Garden of Echoes, you must answer a question true, one that reveals the strength within you." Theo approached the pedestal, where a soft, melodic voice echoed from the pool. What is the greatest treasure one can possess? Theo thought deeply about the question. He remembered his father's wisdom, his mother's love, and the support of his friends. With a clear heart, he answered, "The greatest treasure is love and the courage to care for others." The water in the pool rippled and glowed with a warm light. The reflection on the surface shifted, revealing a hidden entrance behind the ancient tree. Theo stepped through the entrance and found himself in the Garden of Echoes. The garden was more breathtaking than he could have imagined. Flowers of every color and size bloomed vibrantly, and the air was filled with the scent of fresh earth and blooming petals. At the center of the garden was a large, crystal-clear fountain with a golden lily at its heart. The fountain's water sparkled like diamonds, and the garden was alive with the hum of nature's magic. As Theo approached the fountain, a graceful figure emerged from the flowers, a fairy with wings that shimmered like morning dew. "Welcome, brave seeker," the fairy said with a voice as delicate as a breeze. "You have answered the question with wisdom and a pure heart. To gain the garden's blessing, you must present a gift of sincerity." Theo reached into his satchel and took out a small, hand-carved wooden charm that he had made for his father years ago. It was simple but filled with love and memories. He placed the charm on the pedestal beside the fountain. The fairy smiled warmly and waved her hand. The golden lily in the fountain began to glow, and a gentle, soothing light spread through the garden. "Your gift is a reflection of your heart's true intentions. The garden's magic shall now aid you." The water from the fountain shimmered and formed into a glowing vial of liquid. The fairy handed it to Theo. This elixir will bring healing and comfort to those in need. Use it with a heart full of hope and love." Theo thanked the fairy and made his way back to Solara, the vial safe in his hands. Upon returning home, he gently administered the elixir to his father. As the magical liquid touched his father's lips, a radiant glow enveloped him. Slowly but surely, his father's health began to improve, and his strength returned. The village celebrated the miraculous recovery with great joy and gratitude. Theo's bravery and determination were praised, and the story of his quest to the Garden of Echoes became a cherished legend in Solara. The Garden of Echoes continued to be a place of wonder and healing, and its magic was a reminder of the power of love, courage, and sincerity. Theo's journey taught the villagers that true treasure lies not in riches or glory, but in the strength of one's heart and the kindness one shows to others. And so, in the village of Solara, under the glow of countless stars and surrounded by the beauty of nature, the echoes of the garden's magic lived on, bringing hope and wisdom to all who sought it. In a land far beyond the mountains, where the stars touched the earth and the moon bathed the world in silver light, there was a hidden garden known only to a few. This garden, nestled deep within an enchanted forest, was said to bloom only under the light of the full moon. The flowers there were unlike any others, glowing softly with a light of their own, their petals shimmering like precious gems. In the village just outside the forest, there lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was an orphan, raised by his grandmother, who was known for her knowledge of herbs and healing potions. Although Finn's life was simple, he was always filled with wonder and curiosity, especially about the stories his grandmother told him about the moonlit garden. Every full moon, Finn would climb to the top of the highest hill in the village and gaze at the forest, imagining what wonders might lie within. His grandmother had always warned him not to go searching for the garden, for it was protected by powerful magic. And only those with a pure heart could enter. One night, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Finn felt a strange pull in his heart, as if the forest itself was calling to him. Unable to resist, he quietly left his home and made his way toward the forest. The moonlight guided his steps, and the trees seemed to part before him, as if welcoming him into their depths. As Finn ventured deeper into the forest, he noticed that the air was filled with a sweet, intoxicating scent. He followed the scent until he came upon a clearing bathed in moonlight. There, before his eyes, was the moonlit garden. Finn gasped in awe at the sight. The garden was more beautiful than he had ever imagined. Flowers of every color glowed softly in the moonlight, their petals sparkling like dew-kissed jewels. In the center of the garden stood a large, ancient tree, its branches heavy with silver blossoms that seemed to pulse with life. As Finn approached the tree, he noticed a small, delicate flower growing at its base. The flower was different from the others. It was a soft, pale blue, and it glowed with a gentle light that seemed to call out to him. He knelt down and carefully touched the flower. As he did, the garden around him began to hum with energy, and the moonlight grew brighter. Suddenly, a figure appeared before him, shimmering in the moonlight. It was a woman, her hair as silver as the moon and her eyes like the night sky. She was the guardian of the moonlit garden. "Who are you, young one?" the guardian asked, her voice soft and melodic. "My name is Finn," he replied, his voice trembling with awe. "I was drawn here by the beauty of the garden." The guardian smiled kindly. "You have a pure heart, Finn. That is why the garden allowed you to enter. But this place is more than just a garden, it is a place of healing and magic. Those who enter must do so with good intentions, for the garden will grant them a single wish." Finn's eyes widened in surprise. "A wish?" "Yes," the guardian said. "But choose wisely. For the garden's magic is powerful, and your wish will shape the future." Finn thought for a moment, his mind racing with possibilities. He could wish for wealth, or for power, or even for his parents to return. But then he remembered his grandmother, who had taken care of him all these years, and who had grown frail with age. He knew what his wish must be. "I wish for my grandmother to be healthy and strong again," Finn said, his voice firm. The guardian nodded, her eyes filled with approval. "Your wish is selfless, and it will be granted. With a wave of her hand, the garden erupted into a dazzling display of light. The flowers glowed brighter, their colors swirling together in a kaleidoscope of hues. Finn felt a warmth spread through his chest, and he knew that his wish had been fulfilled. "Return home, Finn," the guardian said, her voice echoing softly in the night air. "Your grandmother will be well, and the garden will always be here, waiting for those who are pure of heart." Finn thanked the guardian and made his way back through the forest. As he walked, the trees closed behind him, leaving no trace of the path he had taken. When he reached his village, the first light of dawn was breaking over the hills. Rushing to his grandmother's house, Finn found her awake and bustling about, her cheeks flushed with health and her eyes bright with energy. She smiled at him, not knowing the gift he had given her, but grateful for the renewed strength she felt. From that day on, Finn never spoke of the moonlit garden, but he kept its memory close to his heart. He continued to care for his grandmother, knowing that the magic of the garden had given them more time together. And so, the moonlit garden remained a secret, its beauty and magic hidden away, waiting for the next pure-hearted soul to find it. Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests, there was a garden. This wasn't just any ordinary garden. It was hidden deep within the heart of the forest, far away from the eyes of villagers. The garden was filled with the most beautiful flowers that bloomed in every color imaginable. There were roses as red as the sunset, lilies as white as snow, and violets as blue as the morning sky. The air was always sweet with their fragrance, and a soft, magical glow hovered over the entire place, making it look like it was sprinkled with fairy dust. But what made this garden truly special were its tiny inhabitants, fairies. These fairies were as small as a human thumb, with delicate wings that shimmered in the sunlight. They took care of the flowers, singing sweet songs that made the plants grow and glow even more brightly. The fairies lived in peace, hidden from the world, in their enchanted garden. Among these fairies was a young and curious one named Lily. Lily had wings that sparkled with silver and a heart full of wonder. She loved exploring the garden and often wandered to its very edges, always wondering what lay beyond the tall, thorny bushes that marked the garden's boundaries. One sunny morning, as the other fairies were busy tending to the flowers, Lily spotted a butterfly with wings as bright as gold fluttering near the garden's edge. Without thinking, she followed the butterfly, her tiny wings beating quickly. The butterfly flew higher and higher, and Lily chased it, laughing with joy. She flew past the tall bushes and out of the garden, not realizing she was entering the deep, dark forest. The forest was vast and shadowy, with tall trees whose branches twisted and tangled. For a while, Lily was too busy chasing the butterfly to notice. But when the butterfly flew away, disappearing into the treetops, Lily stopped and looked around. Everything was quiet and still. She could no longer hear the gentle hum of the garden or see the colorful flowers. Instead, there were only trees and shadows. Lily felt a little shiver run down her spine. She was lost. "Hello," she called out, her tiny voice trembling. "Is anyone there?" There was no answer, only the rustling of leaves in the wind. Lily's heart began to race. She had never been outside the garden before, and now she didn't know how to get back. Her wings drooped, and tears welled up in her eyes. Just then, Lily heard a soft sound, like a whisper. She looked around and saw a small, glowing light coming from behind a tree. Wiping her tears, Lily flew toward the light. As she got closer, she saw it was another fairy, but this fairy was different. She was old, with wings that looked like they had lost their sparkle, and her clothes were made of faded leaves. "Hello, little one," the old fairy said kindly. "Why are you here all alone?" "I was chasing a butterfly and got lost," Lily explained. "I don't know how to get back to the garden." The old fairy smiled gently. "I know the way back. My name is Marigold. I once lived in the enchanted garden, too, but now I live here, helping lost fairies find their way home." Lily felt a wave of relief wash over her. "Oh, thank you, Marigold. Please, show me the way back." Marigold nodded and took Lily's hand. "Stay close to me, dear." the forest can be tricky, and it's easy to get lost. Together, they flew through the forest, Marigold guiding Lily with her soft, glowing light. They passed through thick bushes and under low-hanging branches. Marigold told Lily stories of the forest and how it was once filled with fairies, just like the garden. But as time passed, the fairies moved away, and only a few, like Marigold, remained to help those who got lost. After what seemed like hours, they reached the edge of the forest. Lily could see the familiar tall, thorny bushes that marked the garden's boundary. Her heart leaped with joy. "Thank you, Marigold," Lily said, hugging the old fairy. "Will you come back to the garden with me? The other fairies will be so happy to see you." Marigold smiled sadly. "No, my dear. My place is here, helping those who need me. But remember, you are never truly lost. You only need to believe in yourself and ask for help when you need it. The world is full of friends, even in the darkest of places." Lily nodded, understanding. She waved goodbye to Marigold and flew back into the garden. The other fairies, who had been searching for her everywhere, rushed to greet her, hugging her and asking where she had been. Lily told them all about her adventure, the golden butterfly, and how Marigold had helped her find her way home. The fairies listened with wide eyes and grateful hearts, glad to have their friend back safe and sound. From that day on, Lily never ventured too far from the garden's edge. But she always remembered Marigold's words. She knew that even if she did get lost, there would always be a way back home. And every now and then, when the night was quiet and the moon was full, Lily would fly to the garden's edge and call out softly, "Thank you, Marigold," hoping the old fairy could hear her. The garden remained as beautiful as ever, and the fairies, led by brave little Lily, continued to care for it with love and joy. And though Marigold stayed hidden in the forest, she was never truly far away, her glowing light always ready to guide those who needed her help. And so, the enchanted garden flourished, a place of beauty, kindness, and the magic of believing that no matter how lost you may feel, you can always find your way back home. The end. Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom nestled between snow-capped mountains and shimmering lakes, there was a magical place known as the Crystal Garden. This garden was a realm of beauty and wonder, where every flower was a dazzling gem and the trees sparkled with 1,000 colors. The garden was said to be enchanted, protected by the whispering wind, a gentle spirit that carried messages and secrets through the air. In the nearby village of Willowbrook, there lived a young boy named Leo. Leo was known for his curiosity and kindness. His father, a humble gardener, taught him to love plants and nature. Despite their simple life, Leo often dreamt of visiting the Crystal Garden, believing that its magic could help his village thrive. One summer, a terrible drought struck Willowbrook, causing crops to wither and wells to dry up. The villagers grew worried as their supplies dwindled, and their hopes for a bountiful harvest faded. Leo, seeing the desperation in his people, decided that he must find the Crystal Garden and seek its magic to save his village. One evening, guided by the light of the stars and his own determination, Leo set off on his quest. He ventured through a dense forest known for its mystical creatures and ancient trees. As he walked, the trees seemed to whisper to him, guiding his path. He soon reached the edge of the forest and found himself standing before a vast, shimmering river. The river, known as the Mirror Stream, was renowned for its magical reflections. To cross, Leo had to face a challenge. The river's guardian, a majestic swan named Seraphina, awaited him. To pass, Seraphina said, "You must solve a riddle. Only then will the way be clear." Leo listened carefully as Seraphina asked, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have nobody, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Leo thought for a moment and then answered, "An echo." Seraphina's eyes sparkled with approval. "You have answered correctly. The way across the Mirror Stream is now open." The river's waters parted, revealing stepping stones that led Leo safely to the other side. He continued his journey and soon arrived at the entrance of the Crystal Garden. The garden was as magnificent as he had imagined, with flowers that gleamed like jewels and trees that shimmered with every color of the rainbow. In the center of the garden stood a grand crystal fountain, its waters flowing like liquid light. Leo approached the fountain and was greeted by the whispering wind, who appeared as a soft, shimmering breeze. "Welcome, Leo," the whispering wind said. "I have been waiting for you. To seek the magic of the garden, you must complete 3 tasks that will test your heart and spirit." Leo, filled with determination, agreed to the tasks. The whispering wind guided him to the first challenge, the Garden of Echoes. Here, Leo had to plant a special seed and nurture it with his kindness. The seed, once planted, would respond to the love and care it received. Leo gently planted the seed and spoke words of encouragement and hope. Each day, he visited the seed, watering it and tending to it with love. Soon, the seed grew into a magnificent flower that glowed with a brilliant light, illuminating the entire garden. For the second task, Leo was led to the enchanted glade, where a magical creature known as the Lumina butterfly awaited him. The butterfly's wings sparkled like stardust, and it held a delicate key. To earn the key, the Lumina butterfly said, "You must show compassion. There are creatures in the garden who are in need of your help. Assist them, and the key will be yours." Leo spent the day helping the creatures of the garden, nursing injured birds, calming restless animals, and tending to wilting plants. His genuine care and selflessness earned him the key from the Lumina butterfly. The final task took Leo to the heart of the garden, where a grand crystal gate stood. To unlock the gate, he had to use the key and reveal his true intentions. The gate would only open for those who sought the garden's magic with a pure heart. Leo inserted the key into the lock and spoke from his heart. "I seek the garden's magic to help my village. My people are suffering from a drought, and I wish to bring them hope and renewal." The crystal gate slowly opened, revealing a hidden chamber filled with shimmering water and radiant crystals. In the center of the chamber was a large, glowing crystal that pulsed with life. "The heartstone of the garden," the whispering wind said. "This crystal holds the power to restore balance and bring prosperity. Take it to your village and let its magic flow." Leo carefully took the heartstone and made his way back to Willowbrook. As he approached the village, he saw the parched fields and weary faces of his fellow villagers. With the heartstone in hand, he placed it in the center of the village and released its magic. A brilliant light emanated from the heartstone, and the land began to transform. The fields became lush and green, the wells filled with clear, fresh water, and the village thrived once more. The villagers rejoiced, celebrating Leo's bravery and the return of their prosperity. The tale of Leo and the Crystal Garden became a beloved story in Willowbrook, a reminder of the power of kindness and the magic that lies in the heart of those who seek to make a difference. The Crystal Garden remained a place of wonder, its magic safeguarded by the whispering wind and the brave young boy who saved his village. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled beside a deep, ancient forest, there was a legend of a hidden kingdom that shone like silver under the light of the full moon. The villagers spoke of this kingdom with awe and wonder, for it was said to be a place of unparalleled beauty and magic. However, the kingdom had been lost to time and was said to be guarded by a series of enchanted challenges. In this village lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Elara. Elara had always been fascinated by the stories of the hidden kingdom and dreamed of discovering it one day. Her grandmother, who was the village storyteller, often told her tales of the silver moon and the magical kingdom it revealed. One night, during the full moon, Elara noticed a peculiar, silvery light emanating from the heart of the forest. Driven by curiosity and a sense of adventure, she decided to follow the light, hoping it might lead her to the lost kingdom of the legend. As she ventured deeper into the forest, the trees seemed to part magically, guiding her path. The forest was enchanting, filled with the soft glow of moonlit flowers and the gentle hum of magical creatures. After hours of walking, Elara arrived at a majestic, silver gate adorned with intricate patterns and glowing with a soft, moonlit sheen. To her surprise, the gate was locked. As she examined it closely, she noticed a small inscription that read, "Only the pure-hearted and brave may enter. Seek the 3 tokens of the moon to unlock the gate." Determined to prove her worth, Elara set off to find the 3 tokens. the first token was said to be hidden in the Meadow of Whispering Winds, a place where the wind itself spoke in riddles. Elara reached the meadow just as dawn began to break. The meadow was vast and covered in delicate, shimmering flowers that swayed gently in the breeze. As she walked through the meadow, the wind began to speak in soft, mysterious whispers. To find the first token, you must answer this riddle, the wind said. I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I? Elara thought for a moment and then answered, a joke. The wind whispered with delight, and a small, glowing token appeared among the flowers. Elara picked it up and continued on her journey. The second token was rumored to be located in the enchanted lake, where the water was said to reflect not only the moon but also the deepest desires of one's heart. Elara followed a winding path to the lake, which was surrounded by towering trees and bathed in a gentle, moonlit glow. As she approached the lake, she saw her reflection in the water, which shimmered and showed not only her image but also the heart of her desire, to bring joy and prosperity to her village. The reflection then revealed a hidden, glowing token at the bottom of the lake. Elara waded into the cool, clear water and carefully retrieved the token. As she did, the water sparkled and sang a soft, magical melody. With the second token in hand, she set off to find the final one. The third and final token was said to be hidden in the Whispering Cave, a place known for its echoes and illusions. Elara reached the cave's entrance, where she was met with a series of illusions and echoes that made it difficult to discern reality from illusion. Inside the cave, she encountered a series of trials where she had to navigate through mirrored paths and avoid being misled by illusions. With patience and a clear mind, Elara managed to find the true path and discovered the final token nestled in a hidden alcove. With all three tokens in hand, Elara returned to the Silver Gate. As she placed each token into its respective slot in the gate's intricate design, the gate began to glow and hum with magical energy. The gate slowly opened, revealing a breathtaking view of the hidden kingdom bathed in the silver light of the moon. The hidden kingdom was a place of wonder, with crystal-clear rivers, towering trees that sparkled like diamonds, and majestic castles made of silver and moonlight. Elara wandered through the kingdom, awed by its beauty and magic. As she explored, she came upon a grand palace where a wise and gentle queen awaited her. The queen, with her flowing silver hair and shimmering gown, welcomed Elara with a warm smile. You have proven yourself worthy by finding the tokens and overcoming the challenges, the queen said. The kingdom has been hidden for many years to protect its magic, but you have shown the heart of a true adventurer and a desire to share that magic with others. Elara thanked the queen and shared her story of her village and its people. The queen, touched by Elara's kindness and bravery, decided to bestow a special gift upon her, a small, enchanted veil filled with moonlight. This veil contains the essence of the silver moon, the queen explained. Use it to bring prosperity and happiness to your village. The magic of the silver moon will always be with you. With the vial in hand, Elara returned to her village. As she arrived, the village was bathed in a soft, magical glow. The moonlight from the vial brought a new sense of joy and abundance to the land. The crops flourished, the stream sparkled, and the villagers rejoiced in the newfound magic. Elara's adventure became a cherished story among the villagers, and the Hidden Kingdom's magic continued to inspire them. Elara was celebrated as a hero, and the legend of the Silver Moon lived on, reminding everyone that bravery, kindness, and a pure heart could unlock even the most hidden wonders. And so, Elara lived happily ever after, knowing that she had brought magic and joy to her people and that the Silver Moon's enchantment would always shine brightly in their hearts. The end. Once upon a time, nestled between rolling hills and the sparkling river, there lay a quaint village named Eldergrove. Eldergrove was renowned for its enchanting forests, lush meadows, and most importantly, the Whispering Willow, an ancient tree said to hold the wisdom of ages. Its silver leaves shimmered in the moonlight, and the villagers believed it could grant one wish every century to those pure of heart. The Whispering Willow stood at the edge of the village, its gnarled branches reaching out like welcoming arms. Its roots were deeply entwined with the land, and its presence brought comfort and serenity to all who came near. One spring, a terrible drought struck Eldergrove. The river's flow diminished, crops failed, and the once vibrant meadows turned brown. The villagers, desperate to save their beloved home, turned to the Whispering Willow, hoping it would grant them a wish to restore their land. But when they arrived at the tree, they found that it was weak and wilted. Its leaves were turning gray, and its once melodious whispers had become faint. The ancient magic of the Whispering Willow was fading, and without its strength, Eldegrove's fate seemed grim. Among the villagers was a young girl named Eliana. Eliana was known for her kindness and her love for nature. She had often spent time sitting under the Whispering Willow, listening to its stories and feeling its soothing presence. Determined to save both the tree and her village, Eliana decided to embark on a quest to find out what had caused the tree's decline and how to restore its magic. Her journey began at dawn. Eliana ventured into the heart of the forest, where she sought the advice of the creatures that lived there. She spoke with a wise old owl named Orin, who told her of an ancient prophecy: when the Whispering Willow fades, a heart of pure intent must seek the hidden crystal of light to restore its magic. Orin explained that the crystal was hidden deep within the Cavern of Echoes, a mystical cave located at the mountain's base. The cavern was said to be protected by magical enchantments and guarded by a fierce, yet misunderstood creature named Raxer. With a map given by Orin and her own unyielding courage, Eliana set out for the cavern. As she approached the mountain, she encountered a dense fog that obscured her path. The fog was a magical barrier meant to test her resolve. Remembering the stories she'd heard from the Whispering Willow, Eliana whispered her wish for her village's prosperity and the tree's revival, allowing her heart's purity to guide her through the fog. Upon reaching the Cavern of Echoes, Eliana stood before a massive stone door engraved with intricate runes. To open it, she had to solve a riddle that resonated through the cave: I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I? Eliana thought deeply. Her mind wandered through the myriad of possibilities until she came to the answer: a joke. The door creaked open, revealing a shimmering pathway leading deeper into the cavern. As she ventured further, Eliana reached a grand chamber where Raxer, a large, dragon-like creature with shimmering scales and gentle eyes, awaited her. Raxer's growls echoed through the cavern, and Eliana felt a moment of fear. But she remembered the stories of old, which spoke of Raxer's true nature, a guardian bound by duty but longing for understanding. With a brave heart, Eliana approached Raxer, speaking calmly and respectfully. I seek the crystal of light to save the Whispering Willow and my village. I do not wish to harm or disturb you, but to restore the balance and save what is precious to me. Raxer's eyes softened, and the growls ceased. The creature, touched by Eliana's sincere words, revealed the hidden crystal of light, nestled in a glowing alcove. It was a magnificent gem that radiated warmth and purity. You have proven your worthiness, Raxer said. The crystal is yours. Use it wisely. Eliana thanked Raxer and carefully carried the crystal back to Eldergrove. As she approached the Whispering Willow, she held the crystal aloft, and its light began to illuminate the tree. The once fading leaves of the Whispering Willow sparkled with renewed vigor, and the magic of the tree surged back into life. The river began to flow once more, the crops revived, and the meadows turned green and lush. The villagers rejoiced as their home was restored to its former glory, and they celebrated Eliana's bravery and dedication. The Whispering Willow, now vibrant and full of life, resumed its gentle whispers, sharing tales of hope and wisdom. Eliana's quest became a cherished story in Eldergrove, a reminder of the power of a pure heart and the importance of courage and compassion. And so, Eldergrove thrived under the renewed magic of the Whispering Willow, forever illuminated by the light of the crystal and the legacy of a young girl who saved her village with bravery and kindness. Once upon a time, in the lush and fertile kingdom of Eldoria, there was a secluded orchard known only to a few. This orchard was famed for its extraordinary fruits, each of which glowed with a soft, enchanting light. The legend said that the orchard was blessed by the fairies of the dawn, who granted its fruits magical properties that could heal ailments, bestow great wisdom, and even fulfill heartfelt wishes. In a nearby village lived a humble young man named Finn. Finn was known for his generosity and his unyielding desire to help others. Despite his own modest means, he frequently shared what little he had with those in need. His kindness was widely admired, but he often wished he could do more to help his ailing mother, who had been bedridden for months. One day, as Finn wandered through the village marketplace, he overheard a merchant speaking of the enchanted orchard. The merchant's tale was captivating. Anyone who could find and enter the orchard would be granted a single wish, but only if they completed 3 trials set by the fairies of the dawn. Driven by hope for his mother, Finn decided to seek out the enchanted orchard. With a small bag of provisions and his mother's photograph as a token of his love, he embarked on his journey. He followed a map he had drawn from the merchant's description, leading him through thick forests and over rolling hills. After a long trek, Finn found himself at the edge of a dense forest. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blossoms, and the sound of distant, melodious chimes guided him forward. As he ventured deeper, he came upon a shimmering stream with a golden bridge arching over it. An inscription on the bridge read, "Cross this bridge, and your journey begins, but first, a test of the heart's true winds." With determination, Finn crossed the bridge and found himself in a glade where the first trial awaited, the trial of compassion. A majestic stag with a golden antler stood in the center, looking forlorn. Its hoof was trapped in a hunter's snare, and it winced with each movement. Finn approached the stag slowly, speaking softly to calm it. "Please, don't be afraid. I'll help you." Using a small knife and gentle hands, he freed the stag from the snare. The stag nuzzled him gratefully and then, with a graceful leap, vanished into the forest. In its place, a path of luminescent flowers appeared, leading Finn to the second trial, the trial of wisdom. In a clearing, he encountered a large, ancient tree with a face carved into its bark. The tree's eyes glowed softly as it spoke. "To pass this trial, a riddle you must solve, reveal the truth, and the path will evolve." The riddle was, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears, I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Finn thought deeply. He recalled the soft, whispering sounds of the wind through the leaves and the echoes he had heard along his journey. "An echo," he answered confidently. The tree's branches swayed as if in approval, and a hidden path illuminated by soft, golden light appeared, leading him to the final trial. The last trial. The trial of courage brought Finn to a misty grove where a large, shadowy figure loomed. The figure seemed to be a manifestation of his deepest fears, its presence intimidating and dark. Finn took a deep breath and faced the figure. "I am not afraid," he declared. "I have come here to help my mother, and nothing will deter me." The shadowy figure began to waver and shrink as Finn's resolve grew stronger. The mist cleared, revealing the true form of the figure, a kind and gentle fairy who smiled warmly. "You have faced your fears with bravery and kindness," the fairy said. "You are worthy of the orchard's gift." With a wave of the fairy's hand, a hidden gate within the grove opened, revealing the enchanted orchard in all its splendor. The trees were adorned with glowing fruits of every color, casting a magical light over the entire orchard. Finn walked through the orchard, his heart brimming with hope. He approached a tree with a single, radiant apple hanging from its branches. The apple shimmered with a gentle, golden glow. He picked the apple and made his wish with all his heart, "I wish for my mother to be well and happy." The moment he spoke, the apple's glow intensified, and a warm light enveloped him. Finn felt a profound sense of peace and love. He thanked the fairies of the dawn and left the orchard, returning to his village with the apple in hand. When Finn reached home, he found his mother sitting up in bed, looking refreshed and healthy. She smiled at him, her eyes filled with gratitude and love. Finn shared the story of his journey in the apple's magic, and the village celebrated his bravery and selflessness. The enchanted orchard continued to be a place of wonder and magic, known to those who sought its secrets with a pure heart. Finn's story became a beloved tale in the village, reminding everyone that the true magic of the orchard lay in the compassion, wisdom, and courage found within oneself. And so, Finn's mother lived many more happy years, and the village thrived, guided by the spirit of the enchanted orchard and the example of Finn's unwavering kindness. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between misty hills and ancient forests, there was a place known as Willowbrook. The village was famous for its beautiful willow trees that lined the sparkling river running through it. Each willow was said to be enchanted, whispering secrets to those who listened closely. In this peaceful village lived a kind-hearted girl named Lila. Lila had a special connection with the willows. She could often be seen talking to them, sharing her thoughts and dreams. The villagers admired her for her gentle nature and her ability to find joy in the simplest things. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars began to twinkle in the sky, Lila noticed something unusual. The usually bright and twinkling night sky seemed dim, as if a single star was missing. She felt a strange tug in her heart, as though the missing star was calling to her. That night, Lila had a dream of a shimmering figure with wings made of stardust. The figure spoke softly. "The star of harmony has fallen from the sky and lies hidden in the enchanted grove. Only one with a pure heart can restore it to its rightful place and bring balance to the night." When Lila awoke, she knew she had to find the lost star. She packed a small bag with essentials, some bread, cheese, and a lantern, and set off toward the enchanted grove, a mysterious forest at the edge of Willowbrook that was said to be filled with magic. As Lila entered the enchanted grove, the trees seemed to glow faintly in the moonlight, and the air was filled with the gentle hum of magic. The path ahead was lined with delicate, glowing flowers that seemed to light the way. Her first challenge came when she reached a sparkling stream with stepping stones that floated across it. The stones moved and shifted, making it difficult to cross. Suddenly, a mischievous water sprite appeared, dancing on the water's surface. "To cross the stream, you must answer my riddle," the sprite said with a giggle. "What gets wetter as it dries?" Lila thought for a moment and then replied, "A towel." The sprite clapped its hands in delight. "Well done. You may pass." The stones settled into place, and Lila carefully crossed the stream, her heart filled with determination. Beyond the stream, Lila came upon a large, twisted tree with a door set into its trunk. The door was locked with a large, ornate keyhole, but no key in sight. Above the door, a sign read, "Only those who show kindness can enter." Lila noticed a small, injured bird on the ground near the tree. Gently, she picked up the bird and tended to its wound with a piece of cloth from her bag. After a few moments, the bird chirped gratefully and flew away. As the bird flew off, the tree's door creaked open slowly, revealing a winding staircase leading down into the earth. Lila took a deep breath and descended the stairs. At the bottom of the staircase, she found herself in a magical underground chamber filled with shimmering crystals and glowing mushrooms. In the center of the chamber stood a pedestal with a beautiful star-shaped crystal resting upon it. This was the Star of Harmony. But as Lila approached the pedestal, a gust of wind swept through the chamber, and a shadowy figure emerged. It was a dark sorcerer who had been trying to steal the star's magic for himself. "The Star of Harmony is mine," the sorcerer declared, his eyes glowing with malice. Lila stood firm, her heart pounding but determined. The star belongs in the sky, where it can bring light and balance to the world. You cannot keep it for yourself. The sorcerer laughed. "And what can you do to stop me?" Lila thought quickly. Remembering the kindness she had shown and the magic of the enchanted grove, she decided to use her own pure heart as her strength. She began to sing a gentle, calming song that echoed through the chamber. As she sang, the magical crystals and mushrooms responded, their light growing brighter and weaving together to create a protective shield around the Star of Harmony. The sorcerer, overwhelmed by the pure magic and the beauty of the song, was pushed back by the powerful light. Realizing he was no match for Lila's pure heart and the magic of the grove, the sorcerer fled, vanishing into the shadows. Lila approached the Star of Harmony and gently lifted it from the pedestal. She could feel its warmth and the peaceful energy it radiated. Holding the star close, she made her way back to the surface, following the path of glowing flowers. When she reached the edge of the enchanted grove, Lila looked up at the night sky. The missing star's light was now restored, shining brightly among its celestial companions. The sky was filled with the star's harmonious glow, bringing balance and beauty to the night. The villagers of Willowbrook were overjoyed and they saw the restored star in the sky. They celebrated Lila's bravery and kindness, and the tale of the lost star became a cherished legend in the village. Lila's adventure taught everyone that true magic and harmony come from within and that acts of kindness and courage can overcome even the darkest challenges. And so, Willowbrook continued to thrive under the light of the Star of Harmony, a reminder of the power of a pure heart and the importance of bringing light and balance into the world. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the trees whispered secrets and the rivers danced with moonlight, there was a small village named Eldergrove. This village was known for its lush forests, where every tree had a story and every creature had a psalm. But most enchanting of all was the Whispering Forest, a magical woodland that no one had dared to enter for centuries. The Whispering Forest was said to be home to ancient magic and guarded by a wise and mysterious guardian named Eldon. Eldon was a gentle spirit who only revealed himself to those with pure hearts and brave spirits. The villagers had always lived in harmony with the forest, but they had never ventured into its depths, respecting the old tales that spoke of its magic and mystery. In the village of Eldergrove lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her love of nature and her desire to help others. She had heard countless stories about the Whispering Forest and had always dreamed of exploring it. The forest had always fascinated her, especially because her grandmother had once told her about a hidden treasure within it that could heal any illness. One day, Lyra's grandmother fell ill with a mysterious ailment that no doctor could cure. Desperate to help her, Lyra remembered the old stories and decided that she must find the hidden treasure in the Whispering Forest to save her grandmother. With a heart full of hope and determination, Lyra prepared for her journey. She packed a small bag with essentials, a map, some food, and a special locket her grandmother had given her. The locket was said to hold the power of protection and was enchanted with a touch of the forest's magic. As the sun set and the moon rose high, casting a silvery glow over the land, Lyra ventured towards the edge of the Whispering Forest. The trees seemed to hum softly as she approached, their leaves rustling in a gentle breeze. She took a deep breath and stepped into the forest, guided by the soft, ethereal light. The forest was unlike anything Lyra had ever seen. The trees were tall and ancient, their branches stretching out like welcoming arms. The ground was carpeted with moss that glowed faintly, and the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of wildflowers. Every now and then, Lyra would hear a soft whisper or a faint melody, as if the forest itself was speaking to her. As Lyra walked deeper into the forest, she came across a clearing with a crystal-clear pond at its center. The pond sparkled with a magical light, and a delicate bridge made of vines and flowers arched over it. Standing at the edge of the pond was Eldon, the guardian of the forest. He was a tall figure with a flowing robe of leaves and a crown of blossoms, his eyes shining with wisdom and kindness. Eldon smiled warmly at Lyra. "Welcome, brave traveler. I have been waiting for you. The forest has sensed your pure heart and your noble quest." Lyra was both amazed and nervous. "I seek the hidden treasure of the Whispering Forest. My grandmother is ill, and I believe that this treasure can heal her." Eldon nodded solemnly. "The treasure you seek is indeed powerful, but it is not easily found. The forest will only reveal it to those who prove themselves worthy through acts of kindness and bravery." Lyra listened intently as Eldon continued, "You must complete 3 tasks. Each task will test your heart and your spirit. Only then will the forest guide you to the treasure." With determination in her eyes, Lyra agreed to the tasks. Eldon led her to the first challenge, a grove where magical creatures were trapped in enchanted vines. They had been imprisoned by a dark spell that had spread through the forest. Lyra saw that the vines were thick and tangled, but she did not hesitate. She worked tirelessly, carefully unraveling the vines and freeing the creatures. The animals, including fairies and small woodland creatures, chirped and fluttered with joy as they were set free. Lyra felt a deep sense of satisfaction knowing she had helped them. For the second task, Eldon took Lyra to a hill where a giant tree had fallen, blocking the path for many travelers. The tree was enormous, and Lyra knew it would be a great challenge to move it. With Eldon's guidance, she used all her strength and creativity, using ropes and branches to slowly and carefully clear the path. As Lyra worked, she felt the support of the forest. The animals and fairies she had helped earlier came to lend a hand, and together they managed to move the tree. The path was cleared, and travelers would once again be able to pass through. The final task was the most challenging. Eldon led Lyra to a dark part of the forest where the magic had begun to fade. The plants were wilting, and the air was heavy with sadness. Lyra needed to restore the magic by planting enchanted seeds that would bring the forest back to life. Lyra worked with dedication, planting the seeds and watering them with the enchanted water from the pond. As she did so, she sang a soothing song that she remembered from her grandmother's tales. The magic began to return, and the forest started to bloom with vibrant colors once again. Having completed the 3 tasks, Lyra returned to Eldon. The guardian was pleased and led her to a hidden glade where a beautiful chest lay covered in vines. Eldon gently opened the chest, revealing a glowing crystal vial filled with a shimmering liquid. "This is the treasure you seek," Eldon said. "It has the power to heal and restore. Use it with love and it will bring healing to your grandmother." Lyra thanked Eldon and the forest with all her heart. She took the vial and made her way back to Eldergrove. With the vial in hand, she hurried home and administered the healing liquid to her grandmother. As the liquid touched her lips, her grandmother's color returned, and she awoke with a smile. The village celebrated Lyra's bravery and kindness, and the Whispering Forest continued to thrive, its magic renewed by the love and courage of a young girl. The forest remained a place of wonder and enchantment, a testament to the power of pure hearts and selfless deeds. From then on, the villagers spoke of Lyra's adventure as a cherished tale, reminding everyone that the greatest magic of all is found in the strength of kindness and the power of the heart. The end. Once upon a time, in a charming village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there stood an ancient willow tree known as the Whispering Willow. The villagers of Havenwood believed that this majestic tree held magical powers, as its leaves rustled with secrets carried on the wind. Every night, the willow's whispers could be heard by those who listened closely, sharing tales of old and secrets of the future. The guardian of this willow was a kind-hearted young woman named Leora. She had grown up in Havenwood, and her parents had always told her stories about the tree's magic. As the village's appointed caretaker, Leora made it her mission to ensure that the willow thrived and its magic remained strong. One summer evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the land, a mysterious figure arrived at the edge of Havenwood. It was a traveler dressed in robes of shimmering blue, with eyes that seemed to hold the depths of countless stars. His name was Orion, a seeker of ancient magic. Orion approached Leora with a request. "I have heard of the Whispering Willow and its great power. I seek its magic to help my village, which is plagued by endless storms. If the willow can grant a wish, I hope it can save my people." Leora was hesitant. She had always known the willow's magic to be deeply connected to the harmony of Havenwood. To make a wish on its behalf, one had to prove their sincerity and worthiness. Leora agreed to guide Orion, but she warned him that the journey to unlock the willow's magic would not be easy. The first challenge was to understand the true nature of the Whispering Willow. Leora led Orion to the willow's heart, where a clear spring flowed beneath its roots. "The willow speaks through the water," she explained. "To hear its whispers, you must listen with an open heart and pure intentions." Orion knelt by the spring, his eyes closed, and listened intently. The water sang softly, telling tales of the past and the hopes of the future. After some time, Orion spoke, "I hear the whispers of many lives and dreams. My village suffers, and I wish only to bring relief to my people." Satisfied with his sincerity, Leora guided Orion to the second challenge, the trial of the Moonlit Path. This trial required him to traverse a winding path illuminated only by the light of the moon. The path was filled with illusions and trickery designed to lead travelers astray. Orion walked carefully, his every step measured and deliberate. Leora watched as he relied not on the light of the moon, but on his inner compass and the truth of his heart to guide him through the illusions. His determination and patience helped him find the true path, leading him safely to the other side. Finally, Leora brought Orion to the last challenge, the trial of the heart. To pass this trial, Orion had to confront his deepest fears and prove that his wish was driven by selflessness rather than personal gain. In a quiet glade, the air shimmered, and visions of his village's suffering appeared before him, endless storms destroying homes, families struggling to survive. Orion faced these visions with bravery, understanding that his wish was not for his own glory, but for the well-being of his people. He embraced the challenge, his heart filled with empathy and resolve. After facing the trials, Leora took Orion back to the Whispering Willow. The tree's leaves rustled as if in approval, and a soft, glowing light began to emanate from its branches. The willow's magic had been awakened, and it was time for Orion to make his wish. Orion stepped forward and spoke with great humility. "Great Whispering Willow, I ask for your help to end the storms that plague my village and to bring peace to my people. I seek no reward for myself, only their safety and well-being." The willow's light grew brighter, and a gentle breeze carried the magic of the wish. The storms over Orion's village began to dissipate, replaced by clear skies and gentle rain. The villagers of Orion's homeland were amazed as their homes were restored and their crops began to flourish once more. With his wish granted, Orion returned to Havenwood to thank Leora and the Whispering Willow. He expressed his deepest gratitude and promised to honor the willow's magic by using his newfound prosperity to help others. Leora smiled and nodded. The Whispering Willow's magic is not just about granting wishes, but about inspiring goodness and selflessness. You have proven your worth, and your village is now a testament to the power of hope and kindness. As Orion departed, the Whispering Willow resumed its gentle whispers, sharing the tale of a noble seeker who had shown true courage and compassion. The villagers of Havenwood continued to cherish the willow's magic, and the story of Orion's quest became a cherished legend, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of selfless wishes and the magic found in the heart of a kind soul. And so, under the watchful branches of the Whispering Willow, Havenwood flourished in harmony, and the tale of Leora and Orion lived on as a beacon of hope and generosity. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the mountains, there was a village called Evermore. Evermore was a quaint place, surrounded by rolling hills and lush forests. The village was known for its beautiful gardens, where every kind of flower and plant could be found. But the most famous garden of all was the Enchanted Garden, hidden deep within the forest. This garden was said to have been created by the ancient spirits of nature, and it was filled with the rarest and most magical plants in the world. The people of Evermore often spoke of the Enchanted Garden, but none dared to venture there, for it was protected by a powerful magic that only allowed those with a pure heart to enter. Many had tried to find the garden, but all had returned empty-handed, telling tales of mysterious paths that led them in circles and whispers in the wind that guided them away. In Evermore, there lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was kind and gentle, with a love for all living things. She spent her days tending to her family's small garden, where she grew the most vibrant flowers in the village. Her mother often told her stories about the Enchanted Garden, and Elara dreamed of one day finding it. She wasn't interested in the magic or the rare plants, she simply wanted to see the beauty of the garden with her own eyes. One bright morning, as the sun rose over the hills, Elara decided that she would set out to find the Enchanted Garden. She packed a small basket with food, a flask of water, and a little book of flowers she had been given by her grandmother. With a heart full of hope, she kissed her mother goodbye and began her journey into the forest. The forest was dense and alive with the sounds of birds singing and leaves rustling in the wind. Elara walked for hours, following paths that twisted and turned, always trusting her instincts. As the sun began to set, she grew tired and decided to rest beside a clear stream. She sat down on a mossy rock and opened her book of flowers, studying the pictures and descriptions. As she read, she noticed something strange. The wind began to whisper softly around her, carrying with it the scent of flowers she had never smelled before. Elara closed her book and stood up, looking around. The wind seemed to be guiding her, gently nudging her in a certain direction. With a deep breath, she decided to follow it. The path the wind led her down was narrow and overgrown, But Alara pressed on. The trees around her seemed to part just enough to let her through, and the whispers in the wind grew louder, as if encouraging her. Finally, after what felt like hours, Alara stepped into a large clearing, and there, before her eyes, was the enchanted garden. Alara gasped in awe. The garden was more beautiful than she had ever imagined. Flowers of every color filled the air with their sweet fragrance, and plants with shimmering leaves danced in the gentle breeze. In the center of the garden stood a great tree, its branches stretching high into the sky, covered in blossoms that glowed with a soft, golden light. Alara walked slowly into the garden, her eyes wide with wonder. She gently touched the petals of the flowers, feeling their delicate softness. As she wandered deeper into the garden, she came upon a small pond, its waters crystal clear. In the pond, she saw her reflection, but something was different. Her reflection smiled at her, and then, to her surprise, it spoke. "Welcome, Alara," the reflection said. "You have found the enchanted garden of Evermore. Your heart is pure, and you have been chosen to care for this place." Alara was startled but listened carefully. "Chosen?" she asked. "But I am just a simple girl from the village. How can I care for such a magical place?" The reflection continued, "The garden thrives on love and kindness, and you possess those qualities in abundance. The plants and flowers here need someone who can tend to them with care, someone who will protect the garden and ensure that its magic continues to flourish." Alara thought for a moment. She loved the garden already, and the idea of caring for it filled her with joy. "I would be honored to care for the garden," she said softly. As soon as she spoke, the reflection in the pond faded, and the wind swirled around her once more, carrying with it the voice of the ancient spirits. "Then it is decided. From this day forward, you are the guardian of the enchanted garden." With those words, a gentle glow surrounded Alara, and she felt a warm, comforting energy fill her. She knew that she had been given a special gift, a connection to the garden that would guide her in her new role. Alara stayed in the enchanted garden, tending to the flowers and plants with love and dedication. She learned to understand the language of the wind, the songs of the birds, and the whispers of the trees. Under her care, the garden flourished, and its beauty became even more radiant. But Alara did not keep the garden's wonders to herself. She invited the villagers of Evermore to visit, sharing the magic of the garden with all who had kind hearts. The villagers would come to the garden to seek peace, inspiration, and healing, and the garden welcomed them with open arms. As the years passed, Alara grew into a wise and beloved guardian. The enchanted garden became a symbol of hope and love for all who visited, and its magic continued to touch the lives of many. Alara knew that the garden's true power was not in its rare plants or ancient spirits, but in the love and kindness that she and others brought to it. And so, the enchanted garden of Evermore remained a place of wonder and joy, cared for by Alara and those who followed in her footsteps. The garden's story was passed down through generations, a tale of a young girl with a pure heart who found a magical garden and made it her home. And though Alara eventually grew old, the garden remained as vibrant and full of life as ever, a testament to the enduring power of love, kindness, and the magic that lives in the hearts of those who believe in it. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of a dense forest, there was a hidden library known only to a few. This library was unlike any other. It was said to be enchanted, with books that could come to life and stories that could whisk readers away on magical adventures. The library was protected by an ancient spell, and only those with pure hearts and a thirst for knowledge could find it. The guardian of this magical library was an elderly librarian named Alaric. With a long silver beard and wise eyes, Alaric had spent his life ensuring that the library's secrets were kept safe. He loved the library dearly and took great care of its countless books and scrolls. One day, a curious and kind-hearted girl named Alara, who lived in a small village on the edge of the forest, stumbled upon a mysterious map. The map was old and worn, but it depicted the path to the hidden library. Alara had always loved stories and dreamed of finding a place where magical tales came to life. Driven by her curiosity, she decided to follow the map. As Alara ventured into the forest, she encountered various magical creatures, glowing fireflies, talking squirrels, and wise old owls, all guiding her along the path. After a long journey, she finally arrived at the hidden library, its towering shelves and ancient tomes shining with a soft, welcoming glow. The library's doors creaked open as Elara approached, revealing a vast interior filled with shelves of books that seemed to shimmer with enchantment. Elara was awestruck as she wandered through the library, marveling at the magical aura that surrounded her. Alaric, the librarian, noticed her and welcomed her with a warm smile. "Welcome, young one," he said in a gentle voice. "It is rare to see a visitor with a heart so full of wonder and curiosity. What brings you to our enchanted library?" Elara, her eyes wide with amazement, replied, "I found this map and followed it here. I've always dreamed of finding a place where stories come to life. Can you tell me more about this place?" Alaric nodded. "This library holds countless tales from across the realms, and some of them have a life of their own. But not everyone who enters can interact with the magic within these walls. It requires a special kind of bravery and kindness." Elara's eyes sparkled with excitement. "I want to learn more and experience the magic. What can I do?" Alaric smiled. "There is a special book in this library that has been waiting for someone like you. It is called the Book of Wonders. To find it, you must solve a riddle and demonstrate the qualities of a true hero." He handed Elara a golden key and said, "This key will open the door to the Book of Wonders, but first, you must solve this riddle. I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Elara thought for a moment and then replied, "A map." "Very good," Alaric said. "Now, follow the path of the golden light to find the door. Use the key to unlock it." Elara followed the golden light that seemed to guide her through the library's endless corridors. She finally reached a large, ornate door with intricate carvings of mythical creatures. With a deep breath, she used the key to unlock it. The door opened to reveal a magnificent room bathed in a golden glow. In the center of the room stood the Book of Wonders, resting on a pedestal surrounded by a soft, shimmering light. Elara approached the book and opened it gently. As she did, the book's pages began to turn on their own, revealing stories of brave heroes, magical lands, and wondrous adventures. The room filled with the sounds of enchanting music, and images from the book came to life, swirling around Elara like a vivid dream. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the room. "Elara, you have shown great curiosity and bravery. The magic of this library is now yours to explore. But remember, true magic lies not just in the stories but in the heart of the reader." Elara spent hours exploring the magical tales, meeting mythical creatures, and embarking on incredible adventures. She realized that the real magic came from the power of imagination and the joy of discovering new worlds through stories. When Elara finally left the library, she felt a sense of fulfillment and wonder. Alaric bade her farewell with a knowing smile. "You have proven yourself worthy, Elara. The library will always be here for you, and its magic will be a part of you." As Elara returned to her village, she shared the tales and magic she had experienced with everyone. The library's enchantment continued to inspire and delight, and Elara's stories became legendary among the villagers. And so, the hidden library remained a beacon of wonder and imagination, waiting for the next curious soul to discover its magic and embark on a journey of their own. The end.